seconds. I need it.
Okay, we are live. So why don't you go ahead and get off camera, and I'll pick things up. Maybe. And I'm like present.
What kind of like rookie clown show is this?
I don't know. Not a good one. Ooh.
Oh.
There we
This
go.
is it's a little rough for me right now. I feel a little frantic.
Really working again?
Anybody else worried about two rad dads? Silence. No, it turns out no one was worried.
No one's worried.
Right now, I'm working on pouring myself a drink because that orchestra concert was
so good.
It was very good. It was very long.
Oh wait, I need to pull. Did you push your changes,
John? I have an agenda for us.
What?
Yeah. Can you go to the in your browser? Can you go to the repo? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, there it is. This one. Go to this one, Chrome.
Go to go into the notes folder. Also, maybe make it a little bit bigger. It's hard to read, even for me.
5:10.
5:10. That's today. Not 8:30 p.m. like we originally planned. Oops.
Well, doing the best we can over here.
All right, so let's just I just kind of put this together after we hung out the last time.
Nice.
Pre-work, I configured pair on my end, so we're good there.
Whew.
Number 2, Steve to decide if he's okay with the idea of a build script to turn markdown. Okay, you and I had a conversation after the last stream.
That's right.
And you were like, Steve, people don't want to hear you make a decision. You were like, let's cut that shit out.
Yeah.
But you know what? I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I think that's kind of part of the deal. Is like, if there's anyone who's watching this who is wondering, they've met John Elliott at a conference, and they're like, that guy just seems amazing, and someday I want to be just like him. How does he do it? They need to know that part of the deal is like we spend 70% of our time basically just changing the goal.
Right.
Of like let's negotiate what it is that we're trying to accomplish.
Test not passing, change the tests.
Exactly. Oh, the person that like product owner wants me to build this control and I don't know how to do it. Let's see if this control will work instead.
Right.
Like that's just part of the deal. So I think it's important. I'm not going to hem and haw on it. I just kind of want to talk about it very briefly. And tell you that I'm good with whatever we do. But to summarize what this is about, this start page is going to give messages that are like basically coming from a database. And there you go. And my initial vision was, I want it just to be markdown, and it'll like parse the markdown and show me messages from that markdown. And you were like, no, what if we have the markdown loaded into a database or something through build step? I don't really care. That sounds good. Like if we can just like move forward with, let's pull it from a database, or local storage or something. And then, how it gets into the local storage, we'll figure out later. I think that sounds fine. Is that what you had in mind?
To be honest with you, it's a little fuzzy what I was thinking. I think as we get into it, it'll kind of come back to me.
Okay.
But okay, so it sounds like what you're saying to me is you're flexible, and I think we can work with that, and we'll find something that works.
Yes, we'll make it work. We'll change the goal.
Let's hit this agenda.
Yeah.
There's some follow-up here, Steve.
There is. What is cheddar? So I did not catch this, but our one and only fan, Pavlos, commented on the previous stream something like, hey, Pavlos is there.
No, he's here right now.
He commented something like, are we just going to let that cheddar command slide? No one's going to say anything about it. I didn't see it. So maybe you can share with us what it is.
Okay. So if you commit something in Git, and then
Yes.
you're like, ah, shit, I forgot to write. Like in Vim, this will happen because Vim's like for old people, and they forget stuff a lot. But like in VS Code, maybe you have it configured to autosave, just like on blur or whatever. Maybe anyway, in a Vim setting, you can definitely have a buffer open that you forgot to write. And so what would always happen to me is that I'd go to do a commit thinking that everything that I had done was saved. Oops, I forgot one thing. And so git commit -- amend -c head is a way to say, whatever's in my working copy, I want you to apply that to the previous commit and add it to that. Okay, so maybe I'll show it in action. Is that cool?
Can you, before you get there, can you tell me like what is C head? That's the only part that I don't recognize.
Oh yeah, git C head.
Or ched, we might pronounce it if we want.
So it's actually
make that bigger.
-c. Oh yeah. They like laid off 10% of their workforce today. Anyway,
I know.
C is sort for reuse message. Okay, right. So C is like, I don't want to give you another message.
Okay.
And then head is just like where my current pointer is at.
Yeah, the head
and so
of
I put those
tree
together for C head, and that becomes cheddar.
Got it. The problem,
tell me,
is that you're using Vim. And like if you were using VS Code and you had an autosave, you would never have this problem.
That's a bunch of work shit. Let's do oh my gosh, cheddar demo. Okay, and then apparently I can't do that very well. So let's say change inner tag. This is new. Okay, and then I go to the JavaScript file and I'm like, console log. Hey. Oh, I got to put a semi. Oops, not a colon. Semicolon. Okay,
Ruby.
So let's say I'm in this state, right? And if I look at my Git status, I've got 2 working copy changes. So I git add dot. I git commit. Well, okay. And then I come over here and I'm like, oh, oops, I want to get rid of that. I've deleted it from this Vim buffer, but I haven't saved this Vim buffer, but I didn't do git status again. And so I've made a mistake here where I think that my working copy changes do not include that console log, but they do include that console log. So I'll do my git commit, and I would notice this obviously because the change set is so small, but then this is like add something awesome. And then I come back over here to Vim and I write this, and then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do that. I mean, yes, I could do something. There's like many ways to deal with this, but mine is git add dot cheddar.
Yep.
And then what just happened was I amended the previous commit, removing that console log.
Perfect. That is really helpful. I have a similar alias that I use that is called git fix. That it doesn't use. It's not that exact command. It's basically just git commit amend. Yeah, maybe it is actually the same thing because I don't provide a new message. Maybe it's the exact same thing. Maybe I actually stole it from you.
Oh, cheddar. Oh, and then one more thing here is that the way I implement another thing is that you can implement this stuff many different ways. My approach was, and I inherited this from the hashrocket files, is provide a git alias of cheddar. So technically you could do git cheddar, right? And then I just made a shell alias of cheddar because who's got time to type all that? But this is alias to that. So I have a shell alias to a git alias.
Smart.
Yeah, it's really smart. Okay.
Cool. Fancy. Pavlos approves. Thank you, Pavlos. Let's see.
Review number one.
Oh, yeah. So these are the changes that I think you were looking for, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So after we hung out the last time, I took a little bit of time to faff with CSS because we didn't want to spend a lot of time doing it. It doesn't look much different, but I basically just captured it all in a PR here.
Nice.
You and I have talked in the past about like even when you're working on personal projects. PRs are nice because they tell stories and you can like point people at them.
Yeah.
So I made this little PR for you that I just thought we could maybe do a quick review. I don't think it's going to take very long, but yeah, I'll let you just look through it. What do you think?
I saw this. I thought it looked great. I liked how you wrote it up. Let's quick look at the file changes. So I see a background div. This is probably where you're hanging the image, and then here's the actual content. I bet the aside is what you're putting that background fade on. Okay, so now I'm looking through here. Okay, so you changed it to that.
Yeah, let's talk about that actually. Because I don't know how well that is going to work cross-platform. I took a little bit of time I did a search for cross-platform fonts. And that was one that came up there. I found basically a cheat sheet. I'll see if I can find it. That was like, oh my God, my displays are wacky right now and I cannot figure out where anything is. Windows, like Windows, Mac, cross-platform fonts. This is what I found.
Got it.
So I think that whether you're using Windows machine or a Mac, you should basically end up with the same font. It doesn't really matter. The only reason I care is like long term, if we are thinking this is the kind of thing that we would actually like publish to the Chrome store, we probably would want to make sure that it would work fine. But honestly, we may never get there.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks attractive. Nicely done.
We got some variables in there for the blur radius.
Yeah. Can you remind me what's happening here on line 5?
That is defining a variable. And then on line 6, where it says var hyphen blur radius, that is basically like sticking that variable value in there. So this is just this was my way of saying I want to kind of mess around with the radius. But because I'm applying it in 4 different places, I didn't want to have to change it in 4 different places.
So I've never done a CSS variable. I mean, I've done it like in Sass or something, but I've never done it in like raw CSS.
Yep.
So I don't know if you know, but so like right now we're in a body selector and we have these curly braces defining the stanza. So does this mean that this is like local to this block?
No, I think that it is globally available. We maybe could confirm that, but
can you define it outside?
I don't think that you can define it outside. I think it has to be defined inside of a selector. This is probably a good thing for us to learn together, because I don't totally know for sure.
Yeah, this is like out there in the world.
Can you make that bigger?
Yes. Custom properties is what they call it, but we would all call that variables.
But they had 100 people on a committee decide on properties instead of variables.
Okay, so
because somebody was really pedantic about it.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Okay, custom properties are subject to the cascade and inherit their value from their parent. Interesting. So property is done. Huh.
Yeah, so it's on the body, so that'll cascade down to anything, right?
Yeah, so I shouldn't think of it as like, yeah, so I shouldn't think of it as being like in these curly braces as like a I think about like do end blocks in Ruby and how there's like a scoping thing. It's more like blur radius was defined on body, and so body and all of its children have access to this thing. If this had been inside of this p tag, then it would be quote unquote local or like available to p and all of its like descendants. Okay.
I think that's accurate. Available to p sounds really funny.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So use the root pseudo class, and then this is now available.
Oh yeah, smart. That's very smart. That seems like a good way to do it.
And then here's just how you invoke. That's neat.
Cool.
Any other things you want to know about?
Not now.
Okay. All right. So with that nugget of knowledge under our belts, this text shadow line still is pretty intense. So what I think we learned last time was that you could give it like multiple definitions
Yeah.
if you separated them with a comma. And so here you've got like the color that also, I guess, could be extracted to a var.
Totally. Yep.
But what you, I think, really cared about was tinkering with these first two values, which are how you achieve the shadow all the way around the character.
Right. It's all the way around, and then it's nudged slightly in one direction with that 2 pixel. So if you look at the screenshot that's in the PR body, I think you can see it here. And if you, well, maybe you can't totally see it there, but when you actually pull the latest changes down, there's a kind of a flash before the background image loads, which is annoying, and we'll fix that eventually. But it enables you to kind of see that it is like there is a shadow around all of the text. It's nudged in one direction.
Cool. I'd also like One Direction, the band. Okay. I think might not be anything else. This always trips me up. But
oh man, I get that wrong.
You nailed it
all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This all looks totally legit to me. Yeah, let's merge this. Whoa,
okay,
what is happening?
That sounds
here?
Good. Oh, is there 8 of them, or is that more than 8?
Shouldn't there be like 6?
No, the extra 2 are the opacity.
Ah, fancy. I didn't know that was a thing.
Transparency, opacity. I don't remember which one it actually is. Yeah.
All right, I learned 2 things. Thanks.
Cool.
And do you want to do a rebase and merge?
I don't really care.
I know I do.
Click a button that says merge. Don't give a shit.
Okay. All right. Come over here. Let's grab that local.
FUP. Can you describe FUP?
Oh boy. Hold on. Let me
which FUP?
Git rebase abort. Okay, so a couple things. One is which FUP will tell you that it's alias to fetch up. Which fetch up will tell you it's a function in shell.
Sure.
It ensures you're on main. Then it does a get fetch all quiet. And then if I have a upstream remote, then it will reset upstream main, push my origin main node with a no verify, and get pull rebase. So I use this for 2 things. One is to make sure I'm pulling the latest from GitHub, and the second is I still fork at work. I'm one of the remaining few engineers that has upstream as the artsy repo and origin as my fork. And this little ditty here is what keeps my fork in sync with the greatest band of all time. In sync. No, it's what keeps it in sync with upstream.
Yes.
And then get rebase abort. So this is just an alias for get rebase abort.
Cool.
Okay, I did not mean for this to be like out of sync. What happened to me here?
So you are on.
Why doesn't this just go to?
Yeah, so you got main. Your origin main is different than your.
I think I just want to get hard to origin main.
I think so. Is that a get reset hard?
Yeah. Let's see. Get aliases. Hard is get reset dash hard. Yeah. Okay, so that should look better now. Nope.
Oh, whoa. I'm sorry for stopping you like every 3 seconds with your tools. How come? What are you using that you typed get aliases spelled incorrectly? And then it said you called a command that doesn't exist. Assuming you mean something else, I'm going to do this other thing in 1 second.
I think this is just built into Git. I don't think I did anything.
Is it now? No way. So. That's awesome. Okay, never mind.
You can try it on yours.
I know that there's a tool that is called, I believe it's called the fuck, that people have used that does that similar kind of thing.
Yes. Oh boy. There we go. I promise I do this for a living. nuke.
Is this just like a whirlwind tour of all of your Git aliases? Is that what's happening right now?
I did not know that was going to happen.
This is totally planned, completely planned.
That's so how you spell aliases. Nuke is Git branch big D buck1. So it's like delete your branch locally, then push to origin, delete no verify. So delete from GitHub too.
Sure. Yep. So it wipes it out completely. Hey, what do you think? Do you think you need to prune a remote now? JK. or puff? Like, what if we puff now?
I hate you. Okay, so I can do GP. What do we want to do? We want to delete this.
You're driving. I'm lost. You tell me what we're doing.
Check out that. Why? To make this branch go away. Okay, who cares? Let's go back to main. We have 2 more minutes of my tomfoolery. We should be on orient ourselves. Change the name of the extension. Oh, yes. All right, let's do that. That could be a quick one. Let's not
so this
call
is
it
a thing that
optional
just annoyed
permissions
me.
new tab.
As a person who's been using this, I've had this installed on my browser like for the last 3 weeks. It just annoys me that it's wrong because I see it every single time. That's perfect. So we are changing it in the manifest JSON, which we learned earlier is basically like it is the manifest that the Chrome extension uses to kind of define the package, basically. I like it. I like that very much.
All right.
Cool. That looks good.
All right. Git add dot. Git commit. Use better name. Oh, yes. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. We got some work to do here. We need to pair current add. Oh boy. Do I have that name?
Pupowitz.
I should not have to type that. Okay,
no,
and then I'd be like,
it's hideous.
Git, pair, then show. Okay. I probably should put on a branch. Or do you want to use?
I don't care.
Pull requests or kind of just push?
No, I think pull requests. that's a fine way for us to kind of do things async. But when we're jamming on stuff together, I think doing it on main is probably quickest, easiest.
Look at these 2 handsome gents.
It's nice.
Okay, that's done. We're at 9:30. Do you wanna swap?
Yeah. Do you feel like? I mean, we started what 10 minutes late?
At least.
Do you want to go another 5?
I don't care.
Okay. Well, what's next on the agenda? Is it a big thing or a small thing?
Let's see. Good call. Ooh, it's a big thing.
Talk about how we're going to data drive the messages. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can switch. I actually don't know that we need to switch quite yet. I think we can do some discussion before we even do any programming.
Okay.
How are we going to do this?
I'm going to look at your face.
I'm not going to look at yours because it's on the wrong screen.
You can't. Mm-hmm. Can you remind me where this stuff lives currently? These things that have been said about you that you would like to...
where they live currently. They currently live on a Trello board.
Got it. So are you anticipating they will continue to live in a Trello board, or is this project meant to be the new home for them?
I think that this is the new home for them. And what I would like is a very straightforward, plain text way to basically persist them somewhere so that this thing can pull them up. And I like the Trello board. I imagine we'll just go, well, I don't know if it'll go away after that, but it just, I don't care if it's synchronized or not.
Got it. So at some point you'll be happy with the way this works and you'll sort of say, okay, today's the day I'm going to take the time to copy and paste from the Trello board into this new format. And then now the Trello board is a relic and this is now the new home for these things. Got it.
Yes, totally. And I think like as I get new things, what I would expect myself to do is go directly into this tool and say, hey, I know that I had all these things before. I need to add some new things here. And in my head, that's in Markdown, but it doesn't have to be. Just some easy way to get it in there. And then portability, I think, is also important to me. So being able to, it doesn't have to happen automatically, but being able to have this in my work Chrome profile and then also get it into my personal Chrome profile easily is important.
And is this closed source?
Could
it be checked
contents?
Yeah.
The contents. So I think that it's not part of the source. I think it's a setting, is how I think of it. Because I think that this is the kind of tool that many people could use. I don't want to support it. I don't have time for that. But like I'd like publish, I'd like share to my 3 followers on Mastodon that like this GitHub repo, you can use this, and then you'll have a Chrome extension where you can just drop in whatever Markdown you want and you'll get notes.
I'm just asking a lot of questions because I'm trying to figure out
I like it.
Some different boundaries.
Do you think that it's easier for us to proceed if we treat it as if it is checked into the project?
Maybe. One more thought I have here is like, do you already have tools you use to sync things from one machine to another? You try to use Dropbox, you already use like...
I mean, like signing into Chrome is the only thing that I use. I don't mind the manual labor of exporting from one place and importing to the other.
Do you set up SSH from one machine to another?
I don't.
So
do you?
I'm gonna propose the first thought that I have, and we can kind of see where things land. So what if you had a file or a folder, however we decide on the structure of these things, and you basically SCP, you like SSH it from one machine to the other when you want to sync it. And
Sure.
So what I'm imagining is, at least to start, could literally be a Markdown file with some separator, or it could be one Markdown file per quote, or like however you want to do that. And then we just like do a git ignore in the project, and that structure is a git ignored. And then we provide you like a shell alias or something to SCP, or you could do SCP like recursively and do like a folder from one machine to another, and you could SCP it from one machine to the other.
I'm gonna like save you some complexity. Fully on board with this. I could also just like realistically what I will do is
tell me.
Take the file, paste it into a Slack bot in a Slack instance, and then open that Slack instance on the other machine, copy it from there, and paste it into that run environment.
Great.
But I love where your head's at.
That will be complex if you have multiple files.
Yes, it will. Yes. So you were talking about a separator. That's kind of how I was visualizing it too.
Okay.
Like the dash dash dash, or dash 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 is a separator that I've used to write slides for conference presentations. Like Markdown slides that are separated by a dash 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 is something that's familiar to me and seems to work, I think.
So I think now I'm interested in like getting 2 examples of these things. Maybe we make up the examples, or maybe we pull 2 that are not like closed source. Or I always think the best solutions come from trying to be as like close to the actual thing as possible. So while I love the fact that John saved my coat. What was the one that we got in there? This one time Steve saved my life, and all I had to do was just find his jacket. Yeah, I mean, let's try to find it.
Okay.
So like let's build a file. Let's have it have the dash dash dash, and like see what the next step.
That sounds good. Yeah. So should I take over here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. I know that. Don't you think I know that?
Everyone knows that.
Oh my God. Okay. You can see my screen. It's probably not big enough. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer, so I don't have. This is the project, and do you just want to see, like, should we just add a file here that's like, what?
Is it like praise? Like, is that what this is?
Yeah. So like praise.md, we'll just call it. Well, I don't know what just happened. This is a weird way to
try Vim.
I probably should.
No, this seems really easy to use.
Okay, make it one bigger. So just like, I mean, maybe we give it like a level 1 heading that says like, Jon saves my coat. I don't remember. Jon is a really cool guy. And wait, no. Jon says I'm a cool guy. This is about me.
Right. You got to make sure this is about you, Steve.
He likes my jacket very much. And then dash separator. So then there's maybe like Pavlos traveled across London. I had a layover in London and got stranded. This is a true story, by the way. But Pavlos commuted over an hour one way to have a beer with me while I ranted about, what was the airline? British Airways.
There goes our British Airways sponsorship opportunity.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Okay, so this is just kind of how I envision this thing, and like this can be part of the project. It doesn't have to be. It can be like a setting, like the way when you were describing that the splitting of these things into the actual like parsed data as happening in some build step or something like that. That's fine. But I imagine that at some point, like I have this file that just has all these things in it, and this is what becomes portable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think in my head, what I'm interested in is like some step where we take this file, we split on dash, and then each of those sub documents gets run through a markdown to HTML converter. And then that's what we insert into the DOM so that we don't have to pull in a dependency in terms of the actual, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Yes, totally on board with that.
So there's some scripting layer here, is I guess what I'm saying. For
sure. Totally fine with that. I think the part the gap that I want to fill in a little bit is, so let's look at our new tab HTML again. So we want this to pull from somewhere dynamic. Where
so I'd expect this maybe from? So I'd expect for this aside to be empty on page load, and then when new tab JS fires, then that's when we do something dynamic to fill it with content.
So we have new tab JS.
Yeah. So in here we have. I thought we had something.
We had a whole bunch of stuff in here. We stripped it all out.
Yeah. So I'm expecting like set aside or set praise, or yeah, exactly. And so just like with set current time, like on load, when it hits this thing, it's gonna like do this. Okay, so where is it gonna source it from?
So praise para is going to be document query selector. It's not going to get it from main P. It's going to get it from
side.
Yep. We'll just say, I think I gave it an ID, didn't I? Yeah. So we'll just say ID praise.
Well.
And then praise para. Oops, let's spell it correctly. dot inner text, inner HTML.
Right.
I mean, let's just start real simple. Stick this thing in. This is multiple lines, so we want to use this. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes Copilot gets this stuff wrong, right? I need to get a browser situation happening.
Oh, yeah. So you can erase the entire contents of a document by clearing the contents of the document's body attribute. So document.body.inner HTML equals empty string. Okay, but can you say, you can say element.inner HTML.replace and then give it like some guts.
Okay, so I have this element, and then it's, did you say it was inner HTML.replace?
Yeah, sorry, I'm like reading docs while I'm talking to you. So there's probably a few ways you can do this. For that reason, it's recommended that instead of inner HTML, you use element.setHTML to sanitize the text before it's inserted into DOM, or no.textContent when inserting plain text. Well, that's not quite what we want. And like we're trusted here, like we're not like trying to hijack ourselves here. So I'm not sure I totally feel compelled to follow MDN here. It's probably not so bad to just do inner HTML like you had. Yeah. So like let's just like, does this work?
It does not, unfortunately. Oh no, I'm not calling set praise. Huh. So set current time, set praise. Make sure we call it, refresh over here, and yeah, look at that, we get it. So I'll refresh this one more time. You can see a little bit of jiggling around. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. That's annoying, but don't care. Yeah, so now that just plugged it in. So then the question becomes, how do we actually drive this from somewhere else? And so maybe we can extract that like one level further and say like praises, const praises is equal to, and then we'll just have an array. Oh, whoops, what am I doing? And one of them will look like this. And one of them will look like this. What's the other one? Oh, I don't have these as I bet I can find a tool that does this for me. Let's do this. Markdown to HTML. We're just gonna let this do this for us. So if I take this and stick it in here, I just want to get the HTML out of this.
Yeah, totally.
Right, HTML. Boom. So, oh, that's interesting. H2s versus H1s, fine. We'll fix that. But like praises, that's one of them. This is another one. I forgot to put a string identifier around it. Let's make this 2 instead of a 1. I'm fine with that, leaving the ID on there.
Cool.
This is hideous. It does not matter, but I'm doing it anyways. I mean, all of it looks like crap. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Oops. And then we'll have a third one. So what I learned there is that I want these to be H2s instead of H1s. And then we'll just convert this one. And now I'll have 3 of them. And they're not exactly totally what I want, but fine. Great. Dude, so I have 3 praises here.
I think I got a good one for you. Where do I paste a link for you? Is it Slack is the easiest?
Oh God, I don't know. That should be fine. I have Slack up over here.
There is a way to read a file from your Chrome extension. So we could have a JSON file or whatever built and in the folder of your Chrome extension, and then use a Chrome API, chrome.runtime.getURL. Right. So like our build step can produce something that then in JavaScript land, we can just read off of it and just do like JSON, fetch URL, and then JSON, parse it and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Phew. Okay. This seems like the path, right?
I think that's fine. Let's so if we just kind of like fill in this last gap of like, okay, if I have these things, like eventually these are going to come from that file. But right now, if I have 3 of them, I want to just pick a random one.
What's your favorite way to
how am I
random?
going to do that?
Yeah.
My favorite way to random? I'm going to look it up.
Underscore or something? Low dash?
I'm not going to do that. I mean, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Copilot to write it. Nice. Function. Like I didn't even do anything. I didn't do anything, and it knows that I want to get a random int.
That's not right. And so then max would be like praises.length or something.
Yeah. So like, oh my god, it's writing everything for me. Oh, it's blowing my mind right now. Okay, so we're gonna get a random index, which is get random int with the length of praises.length. I don't know if we're gonna have a little bit of off by 1 issue there, but we'll find out. Yep. And then inner HTML is going to be praises. Whoops. Sub random index. And let's go check this out. I think this should pull up Pavlos travels across London.
What?
Refresh it, and I get Jon says I'm cool.
Nice.
How come I'm not seeing the other one? Jon saves my coat. How cool is this? We're done. Does this feel like a good commit point to you?
This is definitely a good commit point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's do. Actually, no. We're gonna add a patch because I don't know what's all here.
Is there any way you can make this window smaller so we have less real estate to view our changes?
Does that amount help you?
It's great.
Okay.
Yes.
So this clears that out. This is all of the code we just wrote. Yeah, I mean, it's everything. So what are we going to call this? My alias gcam is git add dot and git commit am. Add dot just adds everything. Commit am. A is also adds everything except differently.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but you do have some redundancy here, my friend.
But no, I assure you that there is the Venn diagram is not 2 overlapping circles. There is a reason that those 2 things exist.
I can't wait for the follow-up next time where you tell us what the difference is.
Okay, fine. And then the M is like I'm providing a message. So gcam and my message is going to be randomize the praise.
How about like dynamically show praise or something? Because we're doing a few different things here. It's no longer hard coded. It's being okay.
How's that, Jon?
I love it. Thank you.
Did I catch everything?
Yeah. Great.
Okay. My pair current, I believe, is you. And so I can pair amend that. And then I can push that up. Boom. So that's out there. Nice. Cool. How are we doing on time here? 9:51.
Yeah, we got 9.
What's next? So this thing that you shared with me about reading files, do you think that feels like it's going to take more than 5 minutes?
Maybe this is the first item for next time.
This is where we start next time. Okay, so I'm going to capture this, and I'm actually going to go into notes, and I'm going to add one for the next time. Does 2 weeks sound good to you?
Yes. Let me look at my calendar.
I gotta synchronize my shortcuts from my real everyday driver to this laptop because, oh my God.
Yeah, you do.
24. Drive. Data-driven, nice things.
It might be another 9 o'clock night that night, but
okay.
I think I'm available.
Start. I'll go back in and kind of fill this in more detail. We want to start. We want to pull the praise from a file using the Chrome API described in there.
Boom.
Okay. So like I said, I'll go back in here. I'll fill things in. Go ahead.
I think there's going to be some stuff in here we're going to want to do that's not going to be strictly...
I'm sorry. Did not find the mute button in time.
I think we're going to want to do some stuff in this project that's not strictly HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If this were my project, I would certainly straight away reach for Ruby. Maybe you'd reach for JavaScript or like TypeScript. And like if you're just gonna like take a file and like mutate it, would you like what would you do?
I mean, I would do JavaScript just because it's what I know.
So you'd have would you put a package JSON together for it, or would you just have like a script slash?
If I'm going to be using like libraries or pulling down any sort of like package from npm, yeah, I'm gonna set up.
Which is the case here, right? Because we're gonna want to do some kind of markdown to HTML.
Yeah.
So you're authoring in Markdown that gets translated to HTML, which gets saved off into this, I don't know, this file, this like array of HTML strings. I guess it could be JSON if we wanted. A JSON value could be a string of HTML.
Right. The example that is in this article talks about JSON. I guess because it's a response.json.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah. I don't know.
So you'd have like an array of strings, and those strings themselves are Markdown converted to.
Yes. So we'd initially suck them in as Markdown and then just like map that to convert each one from Markdown to HTML.
And then from the Chrome extensions point of view, that's just data being read off disk, and then it's being stuffed into the DOM with that inner HTML call. Okay, cool. Yeah. I think we're probably one pairing session away from getting pretty close to being done with this one.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, then we have to go change the background image. That's going to take us weeks.
You mean we get to?
Yes, we get to. Okay, so this whole time we were talking, I don't think that there's anything else for me to say here about the agenda. I think we covered everything. Is there anything you want to talk about in terms of what we learned today?
I think I'm good.
I learned that
how about you?
Copilot basically can read my brain.
I don't know if I love that.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. But it fucking worked.
It really did.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever have it refresh and not pull a quote?
No. Oh, so you're thinking like the off by one?
Is it
like
possible
zero-based, one-based?
an off by one would result in array out of range, and what you'd see is just no inner HTML call, and it would present like no. Anyway, I guess keep an eye on it for the next.
I did not see it. Yeah, like I'll install it and I'll be running this.
Sweet.
Until the next time we hang out, which will be in 2 weeks. I don't know. Anything you want to talk about, Jon? Looks like Pavlos left us.
Yeah, he had to go.
That's sad.
But he did call us red guys. So you tell me.
So is that good or bad?
I think it's great.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Good. Same page. All right. We're done a little early. It doesn't matter that I was late.
No, it was great.
Look at that.
The fans got what they wanted.
All right. I'm going to end this broadcast, okay?
That's smart. Bye. I love you too.
I love you.